Alright, I'm back with a Cyberpunk 2077 video. As you may have seen, I took pretty much all of last week off from videos. Don't know how much you missed me, if at all, but my son had both flu A and strep and was home all week, so that no videos. Mostly taking care of him, barely able to get writing out, so I am back. He's feeling better. And I wanted to talk about Cyberpunk Update 2.0, where the embargo for that lifted last week. I've written, I don't know, at least 2 or 3 articles about my thoughts on it. We're supposed to separate out Update 2.0 from Phantom Liberty, or the Phantom Liberty update, Phantom Liberty expansion. That embargo lifts on the 20th in 2 days, and then the actual release is the 26th. A lot of things going on. Also the update 2.0, I think goes on live on the 21st. So staggered embargoes, staggered release. So Update 2.0 is a thing that is happening across the entire game. It includes a number of additions, including revamped skill trees, revamped cyberware, new enemy AI, new police AI, not even just AI, a whole new police system, car combat, car chases, the biggest update the game has ever had. And while I have to separate this out from Phantom Liberty, it is impossible really to separate it out from Phantom Liberty, because my first experience with the system was in Phantom Liberty, and that affects how you feel about Phantom Liberty because of how totally different the gameplay changes. So I'm allowed to be extremely positive and tell you how good it is right now, just purely the update, but I will not get into Phantom Liberty story stuff yet. No spoilers, no embargo breaking. Since I wrote those articles, I've been playing a lot. I am on my 3rd character right now. I finished Phantom Liberty on 1 character, and now I'm working through it on my other 2 characters. I have, as you can see, I really do enjoy Cyberpunk, especially after it was fixed. So I've made 3 characters for 3 different play styles on 2 different platforms. I have 2 on PC, I have 1 on Xbox. I actually started on Xbox when I first got the game, and that was back when Xbox was running, the Series X was running an Xbox One X version of the game, which, oh god, it was, we don't need to rehash launch, but it was very bad. Since then, PC sort of became my main platform, but I have 3 builds with the new system. I have my quick hack build, Netrunner. I have, on console, I have my Blade build, and then on PC, my 3rd character is like a guns blazing assault class. And that's kind of the main 3 classes. I don't have a stealth class, namely because I just don't have patience for stealth anymore, but that is certainly an option. There are stealth trees, and now there are different stealth options like throwing knives and throwing axes that are like silent ways to kill enemies other than just silenced weapons or takedowns and things like that. So I just kind of want to go over how the 3 builds specifically have changed, and then maybe I'll get into car combat and police stuff in a little while here. My quick hack build. Really fun. I may like the other 2 builds better, but what has happened here where I used to have a build where I would stand outside a building and I would apply some sort of spreading poison hack, suicide hack, and it would just kind of disseminate throughout the whole building because you could chain these things through certain cyberware to just kill everything. Well, some of that may be possible. It's been toned down a little bit, and what they did is they put in the intelligence tree, they put smart weapons in the intelligence tree. And so it's a way to, so if you are trying to get to the max level of points, attribute points to unlock all of the intelligence stuff, which is a lot of quick hack upgrades, you are also, getting the opportunity to level up smart weapons. I didn't really do that at first, and then it just felt like something was missing. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to do a hybrid quick hack smart weapon build. And you get the little thing where you have the little tracking for smart bullets and stuff, and you get a bunch of different upgrades through that. The best thing I got to kind of really amp up this build was there's Cyberware, I think it's new, where you have the ability to apply a quick hack to somebody, and then the more you shoot them with the smart weapon, the faster it uploads. So like some of the uploads take a long time, overheat, suicide, whatever. This is going to get me demonetized if I keep saying suicide. Then you shoot them, and then it instantly kind of fills up, and they die. So that is a very fun system, and you could do a good amount of damage with smart weapons once you have that tree fully upgraded. And then you can go to a different tree, I think it's under reflexes, and level up your pistol skills. So you have both smart weapon upgrades and pistol upgrades, so you're doing a good amount of damage in addition to your quick hacks. The one thing I didn't really jive with the new quick hack system is there's this new thing about queuing where you can queue multiple quick hacks on one enemy and it will kind of like go through the list of them. There are a bunch of upgrades for like reduced RAM costs and reduced upload time and refunding RAM costs if you queue things. However, at least playing on normal, most like singular quick hacks are enough to either kill an enemy outright or kill them after you shoot them a couple of times. So really, I feel like the queuing is only for like the tougher skull level enemies, which they might be new. It's like enemies that are tankier and have more health and stuff like that, or bosses where they, the bosses have the big 100% health bar, but you could stack stuff on them. I just didn't think it was worth like 5 or 6 extra skill points to do the queuing stuff, which it didn't just come up that often. So I put all those points into smart weapons and pistols and whatever. And some in body actually, just to make me more survivable since I'm more assault based now. So very fun class. That's the one I beat Phantom Liberty on first. And second class, Blades. Boy, they did a lot of stuff with Blades. So my build for that one is I have both a katana and mantis blades, and yes, they're a little redundant because they kind of do the same thing. It's just fun to mix it up. Mantis blades got a significant amount of upgrades with the relic tree. I think I accidentally talked about the relic tree when I wasn't supposed to because that is technically part of Phantom Liberty, which I wasn't really clear on if that was true. Mantis blade got some upgrades. They've already shown some of these in trailers. Like you can hop around using mantis blades. Like you can jump like a friggin' Zergling to different enemies and chop them up that way. One new system that they really leaned into is dismemberment, where you could do that before, but now you get special bonuses if you dismember an enemy or if you do finishers. They added finishers for all melee weapons, as far as I can tell. I'm doing blade weapons, but this is also true of blunt weapons, where each type of weapon has some sort of, at least a couple of finishers, honestly. Like the katana one has, you hit them, they kneel, and you chop their heads off. It has one where you just skewer them like completely. The knife one, you can just unite them in the neck. The axe one, you thwack it into their head and like split their skull open. The mantis blade one, you like pierce them a million times and like finally put one in their head. And there are a couple of these for each thing here. So that's very fun. And then doing a finisher gives you more bonuses, like refills stamina and gives you health sometimes and things like that. So that is very fun. But also what I've done is I had so many extra skill points, I put a bunch into throwing weapons too, like throwing blades. And even though you can use those for stealth, you can also use them in combat. So, I can run over to an enemy and chop them, or I can whip out my throwing knife and throw it in their head. They changed knives, the way knives work and throwing stuff a while ago, where it used to be you literally had to have like 30 knives, and then every time you threw one, because there was a throwing knife skill, you would have to go and pick it up again. So eventually they changed that to just be on a cooldown, but you can still just run over to an enemy and it will auto pick up the knife and instantly refresh the cooldown. I have a tomahawk, which is similarly cool. The cooldown is longer, but you get more damage with that. So it's just something to mix up gameplay a little bit. I think my blade build may be the strongest build of all. I think I need to up the difficulty because I'm just sort of a monster with it. My Cyberware there, my main kit is, there's one where this might be existing already. You become invincible, but you can't use any weapon. Like you can't use any guns. You can only use melee, and then it gives you special bonuses for melee. So this is like the melee thing to use. You can use the slow time one also, which is what I used to do on the Blades build, but I like this more. I think the slow time gets a little, it like warps the screen too much. It gets a little weird, and then you swing slower too. So I don't know, for Blades, I think the total immunity one is better. But then on my assault class, I did do the slow time one. It's like Kurzakov, or it's the Sandevistian is the main one. So on that one, you can slow time by, there's a bunch of versions of this. One is like you can slow time in the air and get bonuses. This one is you slow time by 80% on the ground, and you get 20% extended duration for each enemy you kill while it's active. So on my assault build, I've spec'd into shotguns, LMGs, and assault rifles. Shotguns and LMGs are in the same tree. Assault rifles are in their own tree with machine guns. And then I put a bunch of body stuff in. I put a bunch of cyberware stuff in so I could be really beefy and be able to tank a lot of stuff. So what I do is essentially freeze time, run around with my shotgun and just headshot, 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 and these enemies just drop before they even know what hits them. The LMG. So one new thing they added for shotguns and LMG is something called Annihilation, I think. Regardless, you get a chance to just completely blow up an enemy, essentially. Like, there is some sort of chance where your shots will just, like, instantly kill an enemy, and that involves, like, blowing all their arms and legs off in their head. They're just obliterated. Maybe it's obliteration. That is very funny. Like, it's so good when that happens, and you see the little, like, annihilation, or whatever it's called, thing pop up on the screen, and they're just dead. It doesn't work on, like, bosses, I don't think, but it's very fun. And then my assault rifle, I put a burn mod on it. I have a burn mod on my Gorilla Punch gloves. Technically, I should be using the projectile launcher, but that replaces your grenade. And another thing about this assault class is they've totally redesigned. They've put, like, consumable cyberware things, so like health boosters or something, blood pump, in a tree with grenades. And so grenades are now not consumables. They are rechargeable things you have, a certain amount of grenades to throw, and they recharge over time. But there's a whole, grenade tree perk now, where if you do enough damage, do enough explosion damage, you go into something called, like, Pyromania, which increases explosion damage, decreases your cooldown for grenades. So I have 3. I've been using pyro grenades because I'm doing a bunch of fire stuff with this, in addition to just dismembering enemies with a shotgun. So the fire grenades are so good. They not only knock enemies over, but they set them on fire. Does a lot of damage. Most normal enemies will just die from that, but it's also good to do with the slow-mo thing, because you pop the thing. If you can see a bunch of enemy clusters, you throw a grenade, those blow up. You're moving around, shotgunning people, using your LMG. I'm not showing any footage of this yet because I don't know, like, if I'm in Dogtown, I don't know what I can show and not show, and the best fights and stuff are in Dogtown, so I'm going to wait until the full embargo lifts before I, like, actually do some recorded footage there, but trust me when I say it is very awesome. So those are my 3 builds. I'll just briefly talk about car combat and police stuff. It's better, like, it's good that they have it. I just don't know if I'm, like, as into it as I am the new builds. Car combat is interesting. There are a few aspects to it. You can shoot out of your car windows. You can shoot in front of you on your bike. You can use a sword to whack at enemies to the side of you and give them flat tires. You can shoot out tires. You can shoot out drivers. There's an auto lock-on feature where if you don't want to specifically aim, you'll just, like, unload a bunch of either submachine gun rounds or pistol rounds into their car. It can blow up eventually. The best way to do car combat is definitely the Netrunner quick hack build, because you can quick hack cars to stop suddenly. So if you need to lose a pursuer, you just make them emergency brake and you lose them because they're stopped. Make them accelerate crazily, which will, like, send them off the road into some pedestrians or a building or something. But the best one is you just hack their car and blow it up. So that's fun. You can unlock some pretty cool stuff. There's not a car tree, but in each tree there's, like, a specific car ability you put a skill point in. So in the cool tree, which is very fun, if you double tap the button, you will, like, launch, you'll jump out of the car, like, upwards, or you're usually used on motorcycles. If you're going really fast, you can hold the get out of the car B button, whatever, and you will, like, slide along the ground. During all of these things, you can shoot, you can pop your Sandevistian to slow time doing this. It's very fun. And a lot of the times, instead of staying in my car, I would jump out of my car and manually shoot the guys following me and get back in my car. And then eventually you will unlock cars that have inborn weapons, mainly machine guns or rocket launchers. Rocket launchers are good for blowing things up near you, blowing through barricades. Machine guns, the ones I have, just shoot in front of you, so you kind of have to brake and get behind people and then shoot them that way. They do a lot of damage. You can also use these to just face a group of enemies and just mow them down, because they do really big damage to enemies on the ground, so you can mow them down that way. I've seen CDPR do some, like, crazy things where, like, there's a car like, you're on a roof and there's a car facing a group of enemies. They hit accelerate, they hack it to blow up, it goes into the enemies, it blows up. I never did anything quite that cool, but that's something you can do if you want. As for the Police system, it's the GTA system. You go from 1 star to 5 stars. They increase people chasing you. There's no helicopters, but the further you go, you get into more beefy and beefy units chasing you. These enemies will just like destroy your car. Unless you're in like a big tanky car, they will run you off the road really quick. And then at the top level, they send in max tack, but they can kill you very quickly. Or if you have an overpowered enough build like I do, you can hack through max tack also. And they will try to find you. Like you can hide. Like I was trying to hide in like this little shopping mall, and they found me and restarted the whole thing. I had to go up on a rooftop where they literally couldn't see me and wait like 2 minutes until my wanted level went away. So it's very GTA, but with all your cyberpunk powers and abilities and stuff. So it doesn't really, you kind of have to spark it on purpose to get it going. Like if you just want to fight the cops, it usually starts when you accidentally run over a pedestrian or accidentally shoot someone if you're trying to kill like gang members. But there's not like, yeah, okay, I can't talk about, but there's no like police chase missions that I've seen really. There's car combat missions and stuff, which is announced previously, but it's not just like you have the police on you, escape this wanted level. But it's cool that this system exists. So those are, I think, the major aspects of it. It's really just about how it feels to play. I guess I could talk a little more about Cyberware, where now you have like a limit in how much Cyberware you can install. You unlock more Cyberware capacity as you level, so you can get more and more things through that. There is a perk at the top end of the Cyberpunk tree, or the Cyberware tree, which has it has David from Edge Runners, and it lets you overclock your Cyberware. And if you go over it, you have a chance to go into a frenzy where your character will literally, like your screen will turn red, you go into full cyber psychosis, you hear like laughter in your head, and you get a bunch of damage bonuses. The sacrifice is that if you go over this limit, your max health will be reduced. And like if you really max it out, you have like 100 less health, which if you have 500 baseline health, it's a lot of health. So you can decide whether to do that or not. And you kind of have to measure what really good cyberware you want to use, because you'll probably only have a couple of slots for that, and the rest you'll have to do like normal cyberware with fewer bonuses. So it's wild, man. Like it is totally transformed how the game plays. I talked earlier when I was talking about Starfield, like what did you compare gunplay and gunfights? So I'm like, well, it's not as good as Call of Duty or Destiny, but it's probably better than Cyberpunk. What Cyberpunk has done now, how many combat options, how it feels now, it's transformed. So yes, it's better than Starfield. I'm very excited for everyone to play this. I'm very excited to talk about what I think about Phantom Liberty itself. That will be in 2 days. Well, depending on when you're watching this, I will do a video on that. I will hopefully start showing footage from that. I will avoid spoilers. Very, very important to avoid spoilers. They showed the cinematic trailer, which shows like kind of, an introduction to some of these characters, which I thought was a little spoilery based on the events of the game, but whatever. It's a cool trailer, so you can watch it if you want. If you want to know nothing about the story, I might not watch that trailer. But anyway, thank you for watching very much, and I'll be doing a mix of Destiny. There's the crazy glitch going on. I might have a couple more Starfield videos in me. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for watching. I will talk to you soon. Take care.